All right, hello.
How you doing?
Fire away.
Mike, David Moore, Nels Morning News. First game with your first game here with some new principles from what they were doing before and just the overall implementation of it. What was your assessment of how you guys did as a group yesterday?
Yeah, well, I was really curious to see how if the way we practice and things we did in practice would carry over into the ball game, and really, I thought the guys did a really nice job as far as basically staying on the reservation, doing what we're asking them to do, being in the right place. They played extremely hard, which they always have, but I was very impressed.
Mike Todd Archer with ESPN. Have you had a linebacker that closes the way Overshown did? I don't mean to. I mean, it's game one for the kid, I realize, but he seems like he can close pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's got good speed, and we used him a couple times to spy Watson, and so that, him doing that was big for us. Once a guy got out of the pocket, the thing that allows the defensive line to kind of turn it loose. They don't have to worry about pass rush lanes as much, and they got somebody covering for him that has some juice. So he did good, and I thought all the linebackers played well.
When you look at future schedule and quarterbacks you're facing this year, to have a guy like that, how good is that to know that you can do some of those things?
Yeah. Obviously, there's a bunch of these guys can run around, and so, I think the defensive line appreciates that, having somebody there that can do that.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Two rookies got a lot of playing time. Carson started and Nealon. How did they grade out with the tape?
Impressive. Yeah, they were impressive. Carson, I thought he did a really nice job. The day didn't seem too big for him. There was times we were helping him, times we weren't. But he's a tough, competitive kid that likes to play, and I thought first time out, I thought he did great. For a rookie to come in there, that's not really a real high draft pick. And Nealon had some really good rushes. He did some really good things in the running game as well. I thought Leafau did some really good things when he was in there. So I think all those young guys did a nice job.
Mazi Smith, Mike, with Eric Kendricks, there was so much conversation about his veteran leadership, his knowledge of your system. But for him to go out there and have 2 sacks and an interception as well, did it show kind of how much he still has left in the tank besides just the leadership and all the other stuff off the field?
Yeah, and I think that kind of showed in training camp. He was flying around. He's still flying around. He's a very instinctive player anyway. He's very smart. He helps guys get guys lined up. So, Eric's a good football player, and he always has been. I think he feels more comfortable in this system than, you'd have to ask him that. But, the way he plays, he just feels like he's more comfortable to me.
The Cleveland offensive lineman after the game said Micah was lined up everywhere, aside from over the left guard, I think. And is that the usage that you were hoping for? We saw it all throughout camp, but is that the way that you wanted to use him?
Yeah, there was a lot of times I wanted to use some other ways, but we didn't get to it, so we'll save him for the next couple weeks. But he's a dynamic guy, and we want to try and get him a lot of different places and do a lot of different things with him. They have to figure out where he was. We got a lot more of the double chip protection in this ball game than we anticipated. And we knew they did it, but we need as coaches, we need to do a better job of helping him out with some other of our alignments so that he's not getting chipped every single play.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, what did you think of Trayvon Diggs, his first game back from the torn ACL last year and getting that diving interception?
Yeah, I thought he did really well. He's he's understanding the system way better than because he missed up most of spring practice. So, but he's doing a really good job. He was in the right place, the majority of the time, and I think he's going to continue to get better and better at that. Feeling more comfortable with the things we're doing. it's not foreign to him because I know some of the things they did when he was in Alabama. So I think it's just getting back to it. But as far as coming back off the knee, I thought his speed was there, his quickness was there, acceleration, all those things were good.
Dave Laufenberg, 105.3, The Fan. Mike, you've been through this before, installing a defense for a new, Minnesota, Cincinnati. How important is it that first game, players come out of it and say, oh, I guess what he was wanting works?
Yeah, I think that's important. You go out there and you stink up the joint, then they start questioning you. But, I do feel like they got a good grasp on things now. I had a couple guys ask me, Coach, is that how you're going to call the game? And I said, yeah, pretty much. I said, was it not good? And they said, no, we liked it, So, but I didn't know why they were asking me that question. But, it's just, we just try to do the best we can to stop the other team.
And third down defense was exceptional. How big was that for you, watching that?
Yeah, it's always big, babe, with the third downs, trying to get guys out, and we gave them a bunch of different looks. We did some things. We got the quarterback off the spot a lot, which helped. And so for the most part, we played the defense the way it's supposed to be played.
Mike, Aaron Kaznitz, LoneStarLive.com. A couple of the guys talked after the game about how there's so much more, so many more packages you have and all that stuff. What's your philosophy on building throughout a season and adding stuff that later opponents haven't seen?
Yeah, well, it's really different this year because being a new system. First I had to learn, what the players can do well, and then, okay, these guys can do this good, so let's keep going with that. But, as the game was going on, we didn't feel like we needed to change a whole bunch of other things to do stuff, to make adjustments or things like that. We make adjustments all the time, but. So I had a coach one time, and he was very, very smart. And he used to talk about, hey, we'll do this, we can do this, we can do this, and this. And I said, it really doesn't matter how smart we are. It's what can the players handle. And so that's kind of how, as we go through the week, what can they handle as far as how much we put in, how much we think about and don't put in, and kind of go from there.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. When you see that both starting tackles are out, does that kind of put an emphasis in your mind for the pass rush unit to be able to kind of sink their teeth in? And how are you guys able to plan for the possibility of that throughout the week last week?
Well, we kind of figured that Wills wasn't playing. We didn't know about Conklin till 90 minutes before the game, but like I said before, they double chipped a lot more than we anticipated. We anticipated they'd run the ball a lot more, try to run the ball with big people than they did. They came out with some RPOs, which was a little unique for them. As far as we knew we were going to get chipped in there, and so some of it was we gave them a couple looks where we could get some guys. Semi-free, I guess.
Jesse Barnes, DallasCowboys.com. Coach, with a guy like Mazi, obviously when he came in, he was dealing with injury. What's the biggest thing you've seen him grow within his game and just personally?
I think the number one thing with him, obviously he's playing a lot better. There's still some areas that obviously he needs to keep improving on, but I think his confidence, I've talked to him several times, and I just feel like he feels better about himself and the things that he's able to do, and typically our nose tackle isn't a superstar. He's a guy that does a bunch of dirty work, and I think he feels okay doing those things. He had a couple of really nice rushes the other day with some long arms on the center. He played the center in the running game good. So I think the more that he has success, the more confidence he'll have.
Mike, you had a couple preseason games, honestly, but what was it like to be back in that environment again after being out for a couple of years?
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I said that, when we went out there on the field and it was like the whole crowd is going. It's a real-time game. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I forgot what it was like.
How long did it come back? How long did it take to come back?
Until you make that first call. Once you make the first call, I'm good. But until then, it's like that duck is paddling underwater.
David?
Mike, when you were looking at, like you say, you have to watch tape and work with these guys and get all the individual skills, and that's a big part of when you come in. But just when you looked at it overall, was your initial impression was I need more of the linebacker body types and size I like to really kind of get this defense to hit the ground running from day one with what I want?
Well, one of the big things that Mike talked about was, we got to get the run stopped. And, so we got some linebackers in here. I feel really good about the linebackers. We've added, Linville and Jordan Phillips in the running game. So, I think inside, I think that helps some. But, it's been, good.
It's the same principle as baseball. They talk about defense up the middle. It's the same way you kind of look at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain ways, you go in the game, we want to pay special attention to Cooper. He had 2 catches for 16 yards. I thought the safeties did a really nice job of discouraging throws to him, and the corners did a good job. So, I mean, it's hopefully it's all over the place, but.
Mike Edwarder, WFAA. What, when you came into this situation, you're coming into a defense with a bunch of guys who've had a lot of success on that side of the ball, takeaways, sacks. You said great players want to be coached. How did these guys, were they willing to embrace the changes you wanted to make, or what did you encounter in that regard as you made this, engineered this transition?
I think most of them were, there was a couple that, we had to, I've always felt like if I can get them to understand why they're doing something, it can help the whole group. And so that's why, when I said about staying on the reservation, staying there and, doing your job. And sometimes it's dirty work, you got to do it. But, let's Overshawn make a play, or let's, or Mazi has to sit in there on a double team, and so Kendricks can make a play, or we overload his front so Micah can make a play. But I think the more that I explained to him what, and there really wasn't much pushback at all, but I think it just helps to explain what you're trying to do, really.
Finish up with Garrett.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. What's the challenge of facing Alvin Kamara? He's been in the league, and you've gone against him in some high-profile games.
Yeah.
How do you defend against the back and catch him?
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a way. I don't know yet. I've only watched a couple games on him so far, but they're doing a nice job. Clint Kubiak's the offensive coordinator there, who was with me in Minnesota. So it'll be a great challenge. They had a heck of a game last week. Good. Thank you.